Good evening, welcome back to the action as we get underway with our final quarter-final match. Craig Waddingham takes on Stevie Dempsey. Mark Shepherd and Nick Finn with you for this one. I've always felt, Nick, like the second half of the draw was the really stacked one. This match could so easily have been a semi-final or a final. Whoever comes through is going to fancy their chances, although it's not going to get any easier because the winner of this match plays the winner of Scott Gillespie, who plays Scott Gillespie, who has just won the last match. He's clearly in excellent form.
Yeah, always hesitant to say it because the field's stacked with talent, but these two will feel just slightly aggrieved that they've drawn each other because they are two very informed players, and there were, as I say, don't want to say easier draws, but you look down through the card and they wouldn't have been eyeing up each other thinking, yeah, I really fancy that. An early miss from Craig Waddingham. Stevie Dempsey was flawless yesterday when we saw him. Absolutely flawless. Cue ball was perfection right the way throughout. Well, it was only 7 frames because he won 7-0.
Yeah, from ball one he was just going for everything and getting everything. I don't even think that first clearance he particularly wanted to go for, but kind of got committed to it and then never really looked back from there. I've seen some good performances, but that was definitely a standout one. Hard obviously to carry on playing to that level in every match.
Waddingham played really well earlier as well against Fitzsimmons, so yeah, real tough matchup this one. It was definitely the one that caught the eye amongst the quarterfinals. In fairness, we've seen 3 very, very good quarterfinals so far. We've had absolutely everything. We've had a deciding frame. We've had a 6-red shootout. It really has been great fun.
Not necessarily a couple of the quarters that you would have predicted, but everyone's here on merit. Been no easy draws through to this point. I mean, what a route to the title it's going to be for either of these players. They've got to beat each other. They've then got to beat Scott Gillespie, and then even then they're only in the final, and they'll have one more match to go. Going to have to do it the hard way.
That was a nice shot, but you feel that he's reaching here. It really is. I mean, he's eyeing up the plant to the middle.
Extension, please.
That needs to be made. And there's no guarantees they'll be on another ball afterwards. I think time to just run in behind the red, perhaps. No, not having any of it. Wow! I said he was eyeing up that plant. Smashed it in.
Well, it's almost a carbon copy of how he started that 7-0 match that we're talking about. Ended up chasing quite an adventurous finish in that one. Here he obviously feels like he's committed to this one now. He's got to play one more shot. He's a bit thinner on this ball to the middle than he ideally wants. He's trying to hold the cue ball. Or if he goes round, oh well, for a moment it looked like he was going to manage to get around the back of that. Don't think he's quite made it. That would have been some shot if he'd have sneaked around the back of that yellow and landed on the red at the top of the table.
He's got a wafer thin cut at the bottom of the table. And gets that as well for good measure. I mean, I don't know how he's even given himself half a chance here, but I mean, does this red go anywhere? Doesn't go to bottom right. Don't think it. No, he's looking at middle. Yeah, it doesn't go to bottom left. No, just a stretch too far.
What a clearance that would have been. He did well to get as far as he did, but it does come up short eventually.
I mean, it always felt like he was digging a hole, but did well to get as far as he did.
Nice position this for Craig. No real pressure here. Obviously doesn't want to miss a ball in play, but only one red on the table, so not too much traffic to negotiate. And generally when you're watching your opponent go for a clearance like that, you're probably willing them to keep on trying, but it got to a point when you thought maybe Stevie was going to find a way. There were moments that Cy Fitzsimmons looked like he could get back into that match against Craig earlier on, but Craig was definitely the player in the better form of the two of them, deserved his win. Landed nicely on this ball, pretty much the perfect angle just to run through. It's alright, he's a little straight, but he can just make a bit of angle to get up towards the 8 ball. Entertaining first frame. Stevie might come up with a miracle clearance. And a much more straightforward clearance left for Craig.
Yeah, the reward for the winner of this one is a semi-final clash with Scott Gillespie.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem a fair reward, does it, when you get through a match like this? You might hope for something a bit easier. Scott Gillespie has just carried right on from where he was at the last tournament. He won the last major Ultimate Pool event, the European Open. Great form in a stacked field that weekend. It was a long old tournament as well. Lengthy group stage, group 6, 4 went through, then it turned into a last 64 knockout to win an awful lot of matches to get to that title.
Tried to come down and land on one of the 2 yellows at the bottom of the table. It's just come too far. Have to reroute, I think. And he's still on the one that is to the right of the cue ball, but it's very thin. He won't be controlling the cue ball, so he's going to reroute, take the plant to top left. He's got the gap between the 2 reds, so he's on the one to top right. And then there is a line down that left-hand side of the table, so he's okay here. Just you play this with left side and a stun, like a screw shot. It's just going to come straight down that left hand side cushion. See him digging down into the cue ball. Just to trace the left hand side to help it down. It's like perfect.
Lovely touch all the way through this clearance. It was ideal the way those balls linked up at the top of the table. There's a fairly big gap, even though the 8 ball's a bit covered. Quite a decent zone he can play into.
Yeah, one of the most natural curists on the tour, for sure. Always has been involved in the pool scene for a very long time, and played some of the most prolific money matches that we've ever seen. Well, that's not the best shot he's ever played. Leaving himself hampered over the red. I mean, luckily the 8 ball is right over the pocket, so not too much to do, but definitely not ideal. Played it well. Yeah, just a very natural curist. I mean, if you were teaching someone how to play, you'd do well to emulate Craig Waddingham. It's got a really nice, just a nice pace to his cue action. It's Really nice pause on the backswing as well. Just absolutely effortless.
Stevie's also an excellent cueist. Slightly different style. Tell from the nickname, the Hammer, although he's actually, as much as he's great at smashing breaks like this, he is also very good with the delicate shots.
It's all about the yellow in the middle of the table. And if he can't land on it to pot it, he's got the perfect angle to run into it. I think he's tried to hold. I think it goes into the middle. And maybe not. May have just gone to the top of the table, because obviously it will pot to top right. Just got slightly the wrong angle though. He's going to have to top this through. Top cushion, side cushion, and back out. Perfect. Really well judged. I mean, if anything, maybe just half a roll too far, but that's very good from where he was. Playing it with that much action on the cue ball. Did immensely well to judge.
Yeah, he did well to get the spin to take effect quickly as well. Play with that much spin, it could often slide off the first cushion. Playing at exactly the right pace just to grip off both cushions, come round the angles. Just got to be a bit careful he doesn't bring the red that he's cueing past into play. If he's going to screw over to the left-hand side cushion, just going to really dig into this. So he just came just past it.
Beautiful cueing. Great judgment of the cue ball.
Now he can swing the cue ball wide round two cushions, back over the side he's currently on.
He's got it on a dime again. He really does. Got it on a sixpence.
Yeah, man, it wasn't much that last shot, but once again, just perfect position. Connor Tracy as well, doing the double on the Challenger event. So it was also same weekend, a remarkable feat.
Crunches the front. Makes a yellow. Table has a bunch of traffic in the middle, clustered around the black spot. Reds actually all go. They all have a pocket. The three reds around that cluster. I guess the top one of the three may be the only issue. And if he finishes low on the ones in the middle, he can just come across and cannon the yellow out of the way. I think he's finished a bit straight for that shot though. Just punch. Is he on anything?
Yeah, I don't think this has landed very well at all.
No, don't think he's on a thing.
These three on the right hand side are all kind of in a line, but although he can get through to the one right over the pocket, I don't know if he can get to the potting angle. Maybe just have to bend the cue ball slightly.
Yeah.
No problem with the balls at this end of the table. It's just got one that's a bit orphaned from the others. Just to the left of the racking area at the bottom. First of our quarterfinals this afternoon was quite a cagey affair. Mark Fleming, Carl Morris won. Since then, though, the quality of attacking play with shots like that has just gone up and up and up.
Relying on a touch of luck there, and he got it. Deserved it as well. He played a good shot. He's landed plumb.
It's one of those shots where if you don't get the cannon absolutely right, you're in trouble because there's no route back to that area. Point accurate though. Great chance to take a 2-1 lead, 3-1 lead I should say. Don't think we've expected anything less from these two. Such big hitters, such quality cueists. Yellow going in the middle, that makes no difference. That's a legal shot. 8 balls already been hit and potted. Fine if another ball also goes in.
Yeah.
Dempsey and Waddingham 3-1, 7-2 at that stage. Those odds will have changed slightly now the previous quarter is finished. Cole Bedford and Mark Fleming were a little bit adrift, 7-2 and 9-2, despite already being in the semi. They know, both of them will understand that they're not going to be the favourites whoever comes through, but they're also going to understand they've played very well to get to this point, and they'll both fancy the job. And sometimes being the less fancied player or coming from the less fancied bit of the draw can do you a favour. When everyone's busy talking about something else, you just carry on winning. Good chance this for Stevie, and one that he'd like to take. He doesn't want to find himself 4-1 behind. Two events this weekend, both of equal status, Pro Series 7 and 8, both carry the same ranking points and prize money. Out of absolute choice, I guess players generally enjoy having a good run in the first one because you're always guaranteed the big crowd when you're playing the final on a Friday night in terms of atmosphere. Plus, it's a bit of a free roll then. If you snap off the first event of the weekend, then you come into the second event where everything's pretty much a bonus. This has been nice from Stevie. Works his way around this finish very confidently. Natural angle here just to screw over to the right hand side cushion, hold position for the remaining yellow. Always looks very focused when he's at the table. The fifth frame of a match when the scoreline's 3-1 is always a big one because the difference between 3-2 and 4-1. Badly hit break, but didn't seem to get quite the reaction he wanted off that. No balls have found the pocket. Get plenty of power into that, which is one of those ones where the ball scattered out and just didn't happen to point towards the corners of the table. At first glance, not a bad layout. Reds are obviously going to be the colour of choice because they're the ones nearer the pocket at the bottom of the table. Trying to swing over to the left-hand side to get access to the ball up the left-hand rail ideally. Just come a bit short of intended position. Can still play it, but it's a thinner clip now. Natural tendency with a shot like this is that you end up catching them just slightly thick and they drift into the cushion. It's just a case of keeping the ball away from the cushion the whole way down. Absolutely perfectly struck. The most difficult ball to get on is the one in the middle of the bottom half of the table. It's got a bit of space around it, but there's enough traffic in that area. It's just a bit of congestion to find your way through.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what plan he's got for the red furthest up the table. Can find a gap between the two yellows, play short position to take it to right centre.
It's not an absolute formality getting out the ball on over the left-hand pocket with a good angle. The big gap is the one diagonally across the bottom half of the table, but not guaranteed to have the right angle if he plays for that one. Try and play under the yellow that's just a above the cue ball now while he's gone. He's attempted for the diagonal gap and he's overdone that.
That's no good at all. I mean, he has nothing apart from a treacherous 3-ball plant, which is, yeah, horrid. Just looking at it, that's all he's got, but this is low tariff. He's used his extension. I'd say this is a 1 in 25 at best.
That could be a big moment. He's also knocked the red in pretty much the worst spot he could have done, just below the middle pocket, so if he were to get another chance, it's not very likely though. Craig's not thinking about giving any chances away here. He's going to at some stage find position, 4 balls right at the bottom of the table. So once you take them in the right order, you just need to clear the outside ones first and it will clear the path for the other ones.
Turning point in this frame. You can understand why Stevie played it the way he did, but I just felt that leaving that red until late was always going to cause him a problem. Came back to bite.
Craig has had a couple of sort of gift wrap frames here where they've just been, the traffic's been removed by Stevie going for something first and then he comes in second to clear up.
Yeah, they don't get much easier than this. And it's a big frame. 4-2. Race to 7. Stevie finds a clearance, 3 each. This just gives Waddingham a little bit of a cushion.
It's been exactly the style of match we'd have expected though. Oh, as we see, Craig really overdo that one. The angle was always taking him a bit away from his work, but you felt like he could have stopped well short of where he has ended up.
Yeah, I think he was trying to leave that high so he could just leave the natural to get the cue ball across for the 8, because the 8 is quite a long way up the cushion. But yeah, he's overdone that by a foot. He's going to be a long way away from his work. Shouldn't pose a problem. It's about as simple as it gets. Dead straight with his cue action. He doesn't miss this.
No, he played a good positional shot there by involving the left-hand side cushion. He just took a bit of pace out of the cue ball and made sure he was always going to have a shot at the 8 ball. So 2 frames behind again. Stevie's going to have to grind his way back into the match. Oh, what a break that is. The ball splits so well up, but nothing finding a pocket.
Yeah, that's massive as well, because this is, I mean, barring some kind of disaster, this is going to 5-2. Because the Reds,
red balls in play.
I mean, there's no problems there. He's even got the link ball in the right centre to take him down table, which always makes life easy.
Yeah, having a ball over the middle pocket like that just gives it so much flexibility. You can use it to make a lot of different angles. Ideal just for connecting one end of the table to another, as you say. I mean, these balls, there's just so much space around all of them. Obviously you still have to play the positional shots, but a lot of room to work with. I do like to have come up a bit straighter on this. If you could have just rolled it into the bottom right, it would have made life so much easier to hold position.
I think that's probably the 3rd time I've seen that this weekend, where a player has just got into the cue ball too much and just sent it wider, and then as a result It seemed to be, I don't know if the cushions react slightly differently to what they're used to on a Supreme table, but they seem to play that screw and it just comes a lot narrower than they expect. This is tricky now because you can't hold the cue ball unless you can screw back up into the yellows, but that could go wrong. He has to go up table and back out. Any connection at the top of the table could spell disaster, and it does. I mean, he was reaching there to try and get past that yellow. He was trying to go top cushion, side cushion, and back down towards the right-hand side. Now he has absolutely nothing. One cushion escape, but he's going to go 2 cushions, and then because it's playing into the line of the ball. He's misjudged that by a mile. It wasn't even close to the right line.
Well, a chance that Stevie Dempsey most definitely didn't expect to get. So he misses that by a very long way. And it was all a very innocuous positional shot. It looked like he'd done all the hard work and then just came up short in a way that you never really thought that was going to be the key shot in the frame.
Big moment that though. I mean, 5-2. If he gets that positional shot right, he's got a simple 8 ball for 5-2, and he is in cruise control, just needing 2 more. He's let Stevie back in. I mean, I've taken that frame for granted. A long way. I mean, after the break, I was ready to mark it on the scorecard. Can't believe he found a way to mess it. It just shows they're only human.
Yeah, and it does show why we always say you have to take every shot seriously. People sometimes think they've done all the hard work in a frame. If a player as good as Craig Waddingham can slip out of position from what looked like such a straightforward chance.
That was such a clever shot he just played there. Just played it off the 8 ball and just glanced the yellow as well to bring that out into play. Not as played, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'd be glad he's got that ball to the centre, because that definitely wasn't the one he played for.
Well, I mean, thank God he got that little flick on it a minute ago, because it was on the knuckle and he wouldn't have potted it from this angle.
Maybe considering loading up with a load of backspin, I think he played the more sensible shot in the end. Back nicely in good position. That could be another big moment. Such a big change in scoreline. 5-2 versus 4-3. Such a big change in how Stevie feels about this match. I think you might say he'd be the happier of the 2 players, even though he's going to be a frame behind still. We talked a fair bit about this earlier on, about how Craig Waddingham just doesn't seem to dwell on the bad things. That wasn't a good end to that frame. He should be 5-2 up, but forgets these things very quickly.
Red flies into the right centre. Second one down, watch this. Look for a flick. For a flick on the 2 yellows just to break them apart. Even a 4-ball cannon would have been fine.
You can see what he was trying to do. If he had just got that delicate flick, it would have taken some pace out of the cue ball, so that would have been higher up and would have been just enough to break them apart. Still got other options, but you're going to have to find some other route.
Extension, please.
I think the bottom one pots to the right centre. You can play for the left-hand side, but ideally just a gentle cannon into it will just open the situation up. Ooh.
Well, well, well. What are we seeing here?
Plays great for the most part in this match, but there have been a couple of missed pots that you wouldn't have expected. One right at the beginning, and now that one wasn't really where you saw the mistake coming.
I mean, it felt like it was really thin. And when I saw the cue ball go straight up the table, I was like, how's he managed to get that reaction? But it was just the fact that he hit it way too thick.
Yeah, well, those ones where you hit it where you want the potting angle to be, not where it actually is.
Yeah. Dempsey will be over the moon though. A couple of spurned opportunities now from Waddingham.
Yeah, and as good as he is at putting it out of his mind, you know, he should be well ahead. To chuck 2 frames in a row away would be pretty frustrating to have to deal with. It's not done yet, but Stevie's on good course for getting things back level. Stevie spent a lot of last season playing on the Friday and Saturday nights deep into these events. He's very used to this format. Enjoyed his time out in that main arena for those finals. I'm sure he'd love to have another taste of that.
Extension, please.
You do have these deep runs in an event, you end up playing so much more pool versus the people that lost yesterday afternoon and who essentially had a day off. This Pro Series event doesn't start until tomorrow morning. These guys have been involved in it all the way. Whoever goes on to win is going to be basically playing from now until the end of the day. Which for the most part is exactly what you want. It means you're winning, plus everyone's here to play.
Oh dear.
Wow, it's just gone to that a bit more than expected.
Trading mistakes, these two.
He just caught that a bit on the thick side, which is why the cue ball's came back a bit higher up the table than he was expecting.
Incredible, really. When you think about how he played yesterday, it's a different player.
Margins are so small, aren't they? Because that shot, if he's just one ball roll's length at less, we'd be saying it's a good shot, but he's got himself into trouble. He hasn't found a way out of it. So Craig Waddingham is going to be mighty relieved. He's thrown 2 good chances over the other side of the arena already. The first one was costly, but this time he's going to get a second chance himself.
Still got those 2 yellows tied up in the middle of the table. They've remained untouched, and now the 8 ball's gone there as well. So Wadd electing to not attack from there. He had the option to. The right of the 2 yellows did go. Just rather try and draw the foul, get ball in hand, because I think the 2 yellows that are in the middle of the table, possibly the top one goes. I don't think it does, but if you've got ball in hand, you can place it anywhere on the table and just leave yourself an angle to give them a bump. He's not getting ball in hand from there. It's a 1 cushion escape. Not telling enough, but he does have the angle that he was looking for a second ago. He can just run up into those 2 yellows. Doesn't want a full ball contact. Perfect. Couldn't have played that any better.
The trouble, when you only have 1 ball left on the table, Craig's had a lovely angle there, and even if he hadn't, it would have been such an easy place to play a developing shot. Re-snooker Stevie. He's not really need to do that now though, because he's got these balls open exactly where he wants them. Should have been 5-2 already. Decent chance here for 5-3. Yeah, really talked about the match time in this match, because it felt like that wasn't likely to be a factor because of the pace of play early on. Starting to potentially be an issue. Going to have 8 of a possible 13 frames completed after this one. Used up 35-ish of the 50 minutes. It's going to be 16, 45 or so remaining on the clock. Plenty of time obviously to get to a conclusion. May well see the 15-second shot clock come into play in the latter stages.
Osama Maskini, Rab McCulloch. It seems to be just deja vu. It's the same names time and time again cropping up at the business end. Rab McCulloch having an amazing season. He's destined for the pro ranks for 2025.
He looked really good. I was watching a few minutes of his match against Luke Terry earlier on. He saw a few shots, but banged in a few shots down the rail at pace and zipping the cue ball around the table. He looked like he was finding it very comfortable out there.
Yeah, he's a class player. He sits at number 2 in the challenger rankings, having won event 2, having been runner-up in event 1. An amazing weekend. There's only Billiards ahead of him. What a story from that young man as well. 11,800 points for the season. Deep run after deep run, semi-finals, quarter-finals, just about every event. He won event number 5. And he's a young man, a current under 18 world champion. I mean, he's still 18 years of age, for goodness sake. And he's top of the challenger rankings. What a future he has.
We saw him in action on Monday night in the Pairs Cup with another of the names you just mentioned, Sean Ash. Really to be, they didn't get as many chances and we didn't maybe see quite Jaden's best, but very confident in his interview before the match, saying how he's having deep runs in pretty much every event he enters right now. And that World Championship performance in the summer, that junior event, had some decent players in it. Okay, then it may not be the big name pros, but he had to do it the hard way, winning that event.
May have to go long with this red. I think he played it for the middle, but he's got no angle to get onto the 8 ball, so he may have to play it long, past the yellow. And he's still going to take it to middle. He doesn't really want to go long in case he moves that yellow, because the yellow's creating a big pocket for the 8, and that's why he's taking a liberty here. He would never want to leave this angle for the 8 ball, but the yellow being there creates a guide, creates a big pocket. Don't expect him to miss this one. Oh, didn't leave the yellow. Potted it clean, clean as a whistle.
So Waddingham a break off in frame 10. Just a single frame to the good now.
Wow. An ironic thumbs up there from Craig Waddingham, saying thanks, but no thanks. Might just catch it at the end of this. Here it comes. No.
Extension, please.
Slightly messy layout. Balls kind of a diagonal line across the table and quite a few mini clusters. Stevie go for and get more difficult than this, but nonetheless it's not an ideal position to be chasing after. Mentally he's got to be in a good place here. He's been behind the whole match, but the fact that he's managed to keep it as close as he has, a lot to take confidence about.
That's a turn shot.
He's played it in a way where the options aren't great for Craig as he comes to the table.
No, I know, but this favours Waddingham, doesn't it? I mean, the table's an absolute state, and he won't mind making it worse. He's a frame ahead. There's only 12 minutes left on the clock, and he will happily see 7 or 8 minutes taken off of this one, especially if he goes on to win it, because it would be huge. No rush at the moment for Dempsey, but he needs to get a foothold.
Makes it a big frame. If we go to 5-all, obviously anybody's game. If it does go 6-4, as you say, if time gets used up, that's where it starts to get hard. Wow, tries to force that plant. You can see how tight the pockets are. That was a plant that wasn't dead set, but you would have expected him to make. Let's take a look at this. When you see it like that, it didn't look like it was far away, but there's no way it was going down.
Extension, please.
These 2 balls on the break line just causing him a bit of difficulty because they're not pointing in any useful direction to make them to a plant, and they're not in a place where they're going to be very easily split apart. So ideally he'd like to get them open up sooner rather than later. Just make the putting angle he feels of the ball to the middle.
Some effort. Bending the ball round to then screw it off the top cushion to try and get into the yellows. Wasn't a million miles away either. Look at he's having to bend it. Bends it, jumps it.
Yeah, if he didn't catch that red, it's in good shape.
Wasn't far away. He's left it long. Dempsey gets up. He can sit back down again though.
He's played one good shot. He's going to have to play a couple more. Still got the problem with the 2 yellows clustered at the bottom. Just looking at whether he can get through under the 8 ball. It's landed on the ball to the middle, but I think he's just off angle. Don't think he's got any path into the 2 to the right of the 8 balls. Well, feels like he can find the gap. That's a gap that didn't look like it existed. Pretty much only a ball's width, and he's landed dead straight on this ball. That's a great shot. That did not look like the way he was going to be able to unlock that. That was such a precise positional shot he was going to have to play it. And suddenly, from a position where it looked like Stevie Dempsey was moving towards being favourite in this frame, it's got away from him pretty fast. 6-4 now. Well, that's a pretty good start towards that objective. Ball split out very nicely indeed.
Yeah, we saw Ronan McCarthy in a similar position to this earlier, 6-4 down. He did manage to pull it back to 6-4. And then Cole Bedford took out a huge clearance in the final frame to get across the line. And we're going to see similar drama here. Plenty of time for 3 frames. 9 minutes doesn't seem a lot of time, but on a 15-second shot clock, it's more than enough, especially if the balls are open.
Yeah, all results possible, but a draw would seem the least likely right now. They should have plenty of time to play out as many frames as they need, particularly given that this one doesn't look like it's going to take very long.
Yeah, probably another minute left on this one. I'm surprised he's going long here.
Shows what a confident potter he is. There's a lot of people that wouldn't be paid to take this one on when they've got easier balls at the top of the table.
I'm just not sure of the reasoning behind it. I mean, he's got the one to top right, the one to top left, and then use that ball to come down to the bottom of the table. And I guess the only reasoning could be is that he thought, I've got the angle to get down to the bottom of the table now, so I'll take it now, because he wasn't, later on in the frame, he wasn't guaranteed to get back to that exact angle to get back down table. As it happened, he didn't get far enough down anyway, so he's got to have to play a shot here. Middle pocket. Well, he just caught the knuckle. He just caught the very edge of the knuckle, which has sent the cue ball across the right-hand side. And this is why it was a mistake for me, Mark. I mean, I know it's easy to sit here and criticise after the event, but oh dear me. Trying to get that inside the 8 ball. If he flicks the 8 ball, it's going in the pocket, and that was match over. Very lucky. Yeah. Go back to that one, taking the one in the middle of the table. I don't know. It's easy to say from here. He's the one at the table.
Yeah, I think the only explanation is that he must think he could have got nicely on the one at the bottom and just came up short.
Yeah.
I think it would have made sense if he'd have been able to play it the other way round, take the one in the middle, then the one at the bottom, and then go up the top. Then that would have been a much more assured route.
Middle pocket's in the way of the one cushion escape, going up the rail. That's come. He's not missed it by much, not missed the ball by much, but he's missed the line by a long way because he was looking to pot that. And there's a couple of times now where, I mean, we saw one earlier in the match, didn't we? He's missed the line by probably 18 inches, and he's missed that one by quite a long way. He's not judging the line of the ball to get out of snookers yet. Players still getting used to how these cushions react. Don't forget, these are brand new tables. Never played on before. A lot of these players, first time they ever played on one of these was when they arrived at this event.
Yeah, it's kind of a rare situation, isn't it? New in terms of haven't seen the style before, and new as in the playing conditions are all perfect because they are all literally brand new.
He's got some work to do here. He's tried to move the red on the right hand side cushion, on the left hand side cushion. Through missing it, he's come down the bottom of the table onto this ball at the bottom, but he cannot get anywhere near the other red, and as a result he's not even tried to pot it, and you can understand why, because look what he's left Dempsey.
Yeah, well, it was either take on a really difficult shot himself or leave Stevie one.
Yeah,
this is the percentage option.
I mean, even if he gets this, he's going to have a horrible, I mean, he's digging down into it to try and get on the 8.
Well, I think the wrong side of the ball in the end. I mean, that was such a hard shot.
Massive ask. He's snookered what, has he? No, I think he can just get past.
That shot that Stevie's just played, if you were just playing it plain ball, would have been a tough pot, but digging down.
He was looking at the double, the back double, just to see whether, because he kind of had a shot to nothing. If he could have played the double and left the cue ball at the top of the table, Stevie had nothing because obviously the pocket was covering the yellow. But, he knew he could never get that close to this ball. It was always going to be a big ask. And then getting on the 8 ball from here is, that's a fantastic shot. You can see what he thought of it with a little fist pump. You can hear what the crowd thought of it. Come onto his corner. That was a superb performance from Craig Waddingham.